humanity. My name is Am Rosen. Welcome to the podcast library, Psychological Keys to Human Fulfillment. You've entered the section of this library titled The Nature of Consciousness, State of Mind. I'm going to start off this section of the podcast library by quoting the bottom line of my philosophy. The quality of anything, everything that you experience, whether you're awake, sleeping, dreaming, hallucinating, transcending, whether you're unconscious, subconscious, semi-conscious, fully conscious, whether you're psychotic, impaired, normal, exceptional, enlightened, anytime, any place, under any conditions, no exceptions, in this or any other dimension, the quality of what you experience is determined by the state of mind that you are in when you're experiencing. Then what, you might want to consider, determines your state of mind. And if you could keep your mind in any state you wanted, where would you will it to be? It's definitely my intention to help you come to understand the answer to both of those considerations in a way that will add to the satisfaction of your individual fulfillment. We're going to start off with the basis of developing consciousness and go on to examine its full functioning range through human potential. The basis of sentient life is comprised by two different qualities. The first is it has a physical presence. The second is that however rudimentary its range of response, it has the ability to respond to physical stimulus. For example, a hunk of lead, well, that would certainly have a physical presence. But no matter what you did to alter its surrounding environment, or even if you were obsessively deluded enough to think that you could say something to it, hey, if you believe this way, you'll go to heaven, or if you do this, you'll win a big prize of money, no matter what you'd say, there is nothing you could do that would alter its responsiveness, because that hunk of lead simply lacks the ability to respond. While a single-cell organism, for example, an amoeba, will certainly respond to alterations in its surrounding environment. For example, if you change the temperature, the light, the nutrient source, and or the chemical media in which it's suspended, it will subsequently alter its behavior in accordance. At this most basic level of physical functioning, the processes of response are totally unconscious. The organism is just responding to the biofunctional dictates as genetically programmed into its form of design. As life forms evolve, the interactive range of their form and function expands. Eventually, nature takes on the more sophisticated complexity of operating through our particular species, Homo sapiens. As humans, we have available to us the ability to operate through several distinctively different levels of perception. Each one of those levels of consciousness has its own territory of interaction and its own way of interacting with the other rates of perception. The first level of consciousness is physicality. Your body, whether or not you're aware of it, has its own innate ability to respond on its own. Look at it, you're about 99% on automatic physically. You don't tell the cells how to divide, the hormones and enzymes when to secrete, the blood how to flow, the synapses in the brain when to fire. You go to sleep at night, you don't know what happens to the whole shooting gallery. But whether you are conscious of it or not, your body has its own way of processing energy. every level of consciousness has its own way of handling the energies that become accessible at that level. On the physical level of consciousness, the mode of perception is sensation. From a purely physical level, you only know that you are alive because you can see, hear, touch, smell, and taste. Now, of all the things that your body is capable of doing, I mean, you can snap your fingers, wave your hand, you can flap your arms, but you could also do very nicely without doing those things. But some things are absolutely necessary for your continued existence. If you can't take that next breath, then everything else is going to become very unimportant to you. By the same token, within a given amount of time, you must be able to take in nutrition, eating. You must be able to eliminate waste, detoxification. You must be able to sleep, regenerative rebalancing. You must maintain within a range of body temperature, environmental subsistence. And as a unconscious functioning appendage of your particular species, whether you actually do or don't, in your design potential, you must have the ability to sexually reproduce, continuation of the species. These are biological survival mechanisms. If any one of those fails to operate for too long, well, then there'll be no you around to worry about anything beyond that point. Okay, let's say that we've activated one of these biological survival mechanisms. You are experiencing a physical sensation of hunger. Your body requires nutrition. Now, if you get something to eat that will satisfy that survival need, then your response is you feel satisfied, you feel good. But if you get nothing to eat, and that sensation keeps intensifying, then your response is you feel very dissatisfied, you feel bad. Or, as another example, let's say that you're experiencing a physical sensation of coldness. Your body's chilled. Now, if we put a blanket around you and make you feel warm and cozy, then your response is you feel good. But if we throw a bucket of ice water on you and leave you shivering in the dark, well, your response is you feel bad. The first level of consciousness are physical sensations. That is, your body and whatever it's capable of sensing in whatever environment you've placed it in. The second level of consciousness are feeling responses, how you're capable of responding to what you experience in the moment. And you distinguish that as being to some degree satisfying, pleasurable, which makes you want to approach it, or to some degree being dissatisfying or painful, which makes you want to try to avoid. This most primary level of behavioral conditioning operates on a purely unconscious level as reflex. The success or failure ratio of the body in satisfying its physical-based demands creates approach or avoidance patterns of behavior, which further orient the tissues of your body in terms of disposing how your metabolic systems function. Established on this visceral level of gut-jerk reaction, these patterns further lock into engrammic movements of tissues in your body disposing the way you function. However, there are many things that your body can do in all kinds of environmental situations. So again, let's say that you're experiencing a physical sensation of hunger. Your body needs nourishment. Now, you've experienced this sensation often enough that you've come to learn that when you get this sensation, if you want to wind up feeling good about it, you have to eat something. But after a while, through trial and error, you find that, yeah, when you eat that something in this green grassy meadow by the gurgling crystal brook with the little bluebird singing on a warm sunny day, well, it feels a lot better than if you eat that something up in the dusty old attic by your lonesome. Now, eating was the basic need here in order to get a good feeling, a good response. But now you're starting to get a complexity of feelings. You're getting gradients of more or less or better or worse. You can get very fancy on this particular level. To satisfy this basic physical sensation, this need for food, or you can say, well, yeah, but I only feel good about eating that something if I'm served by naked dancing people on golden platters with hallelujah choruses facing Mecca during a full moon, whatever. You can get your own veritable sideshow carnival of freaky experiences going. But you were just trying to satisfy this physical sensation of hunger. Physical sensations, your ability to respond to stimulus in the environment, and feeling responses, the way in which you respond to that stimulus, form the basis of sentient life, that which has both a physical presence and, however rudimentary, an ability to respond to it. We come up from this basis to the third level of consciousness, to form a kind of operational, triangulating form of processing awareness. In the next podcast, we're going to look at how the further development of the feeling level brings online the mental processes to start to form and process through emotions. Thank you for lending your consideration. Until we meet again.